you turned in the white ball,
Yep.
right? And now you are throwing the yellow ball.
A little yellow baseball.
All right, move over to being the best athlete on the field as a pitcher.
So I want to give back to the fans. I want to give back to the people that support us. How can I make a fan stay? How can I make 10,000 fan stays? Game 7 of the World Series. Every single one of those games felt like, and I give up a home run. It's not the end of the world. I think every kid should play as many positions as they can so they know what position they like best and what position fits for them.
Technically, you should be a doctor.
Basically, yeah. I said, this is my last year. I don't care if I throw 5 innings. I want to have the experience. So after that experience, I was like, I can do this.
Hey, welcome everybody. We're live at the show. Today we're going to be talking with none other than Johnny Hummel. Johnny and I have gone way back for many years. His path of baseball has taken some turns that are very unlikely multiple times. And so I'm excited to talk with Johnny today and shed some light on baseball in the entire industry as a whole, and how many different paths and avenues. So welcome to the show, Johnny.
Thank you. I appreciate it. Glad to be here.
So we go way back. Coached your older brother, Alec, who played college baseball. You and I have known each other since you were 8, 9, 10 years old when Alec was playing. And so baseball, let's talk about baseball, travel baseball. We talked about Cooperstown a little bit earlier, and just, coming up as a young baseball player and how you started.
Well, my family, my mom and dad were big athletes growing up, and like you said, I have an older brother who's 5 years older than me. So as soon as I was born, I was in baseball. My earliest memories of baseball was at the Coach Pitch field, dusting off the plates around the infield as I was 2 years old. So that's how I got into baseball. I just looked up to my older brother, and my parents love sports. I love sports, and next thing you know, I'm here talking with you guys about baseball still.
Right. So, again, thanks for coming on with us today. You just finished a season, and I don't want to get into what you're doing right now quite yet. You just finished a season. You're in the off season. You're preparing for next year. How is life different now versus during the summer?
Life's completely different now. I kind of actually have a stable job now, and I can take this off season and I can work on myself, whether that's taking time off, quality time off to spend with family, and being able to go on vacations. Also, just being back in the place that I grew up at. Training here is awesome. So it's been a really good off season so far, and I'm really excited to get back into it. Right
on. So you grew up playing baseball at Showcase Baseball Academy. You played for a couple different coaches, Tom Donathan. I remember one memorable trip down to the Marucci World Series in Louisiana. First one ever. It was very hot. You guys won the championship, and you were behind the plate.
I was down in Houston.
Is it Louisiana? Oh, no, it was Houston at the time. The first year was in Houston. That's right.
Yeah, so we were down there, and I don't know what the months were, probably July, middle of the summer. Playing on turf down there, so it was brutal. I think I probably lost about 20 pounds when I was there because I caught almost every single game, but it was probably one of the best experiences I've had playing here.
Right. So from there, you were recruited as a catcher.
Yes.
You went to Erskine College
Yes.
To play for none other than Crocco.
Mark Crocco, Coach Crocco.
And his career has taken a turn as well. We'll bring him up and later on in the show.
Yeah.
So big Crocco fan, lots of energy.
Huge
was he
Crocco
fun
fan.
to play for?
Yeah, he was amazing to play for. He definitely brought energy. He made the game pretty fun for us. And although he made some questionable calls as a coach, we still loved him, and we still wanted to play for him. So it was great.
Right. I always believe that, in humanity and ourselves, we're always going to make mistakes. And those coaches who are humble and able to admit those mistakes, they're a lot easier to follow.
Yeah, he would own up to all of his mistakes, so it made it easy to play for him.
That's cool. So do you remember the moment that you realized that this wasn't necessarily like me enjoying playing the game? It's not Little League anymore. Maybe the fun of baseball becoming a business.
So it was actually down in the Marucci World Series down in Houston. I forget what team. I think we were playing NorCal. I remember the field. I remember everything. We were wearing our white jerseys. That's back when we were still green and orange. And there was a runner on first, and there was 2 outs. It was a pretty intense game. It was to go to the semifinals. And I scooped the ball behind the plate and threw a guy out at second at the same time. And it was probably a 40-foot pitch. And somehow I got my glove on it. and made a good throw to second to end the inning and bring us into probably like the 5th, 6th inning. But you were there. And everybody got really hyped up for that one. So I think that was the moment that I knew like I actually have a chance of, becoming something.
Right. You're always very talented. And a lot of times the second brother, the guys who have an older brother, they get beat up on a little bit when they're younger, but a lot of times that second brother is always a little bit better than the first one.
Yeah, that's what I think.
So, I mean, your brother had a lot of talent, a left-handed pitcher, pitched in college himself. How did he guide you or help you through your baseball journey?
He helped me through from learning from his mistakes. He made a lot of mistakes growing up, as an older brother would. An older brother always makes the most mistakes, and the younger brother always learns from it. So seeing his mistakes, seeing how he went about baseball, seeing how he went about his skill work, I always try to one-up him, as a younger brother would. So I think just being around him and seeing his success and seeing how I could, grow from his success, that's definitely one of the biggest things that's ever helped me with baseball.
That's cool. Good stuff. And he's still obviously a big supporter of what you're doing today.
Yeah, huge supporter. He went out to one of our games. I won't get into where it was, but he came out to one of our games. First time he came out to this new game that I'm playing,
So you are a catcher in high school. You were a good athlete, so you pitched sometimes, and you go to Erskine as a catcher as well.
In high school, I actually played as a sophomore. I was varsity. I was playing right field.
Okay.
Hitting 3-hole as a sophomore. It was the best year I've ever had. They said sophomore slump. I didn't have a sophomore slump.
Right.
But I actually played right field that whole entire year, and that was a really good season that we had. We made it to the semis to go to states, played Providence, because I went to Butler High School. Made it all the way up there. We got waxed by Providence, but it was still a lot of fun.
So playing multiple positions, how do you feel like that helped you along in your baseball journey?
I think every kid should play as many positions as they can, so they know what position they like best and what position fits for them. Obviously, I had to put my ego aside because I'm not that same position I was growing up, and I knew that I was better at the position than I am now than any other positions. So I think if you can play as many positions as you can, and I think if you can put your ego aside and pick the one that you feel that you're most comfortable at and best at, then you'll probably have a lot of success in this game.
Right. All right, so you go to Erskine College. You're playing for Coach Crocco. You're a catcher your first 2 years?
2 years.
Yep.
One and a half.
And then he decides to ask you. You decide. How do you decide to move over to being the best athlete on the field as a pitcher?
So my first year I redshirted. There's guys older than me that were a lot better than me. I redshirted, got that year back, and then COVID hit, or next year was the COVID year. And we were playing, and all fall I caught. I wanted to prove myself that I could catch. I wanted to prove myself that I was deserving to be in the lineup. Wasn't the best still. And we get about a quarter of the way into the year, and I'm not seeing any playing time. I was like, I want to play. Like,
how can I help the
team? It's just who I am. So I go up to Croc, and I'm like, hey, like, let me pitch. Like, I know how to do it. I'm a catcher. I can throw strikes. That's not what I don't throw that hard. I have a good curveball, but I know I can throw strikes. And he was like, all right, you got a bullpen. That day I threw a bullpen. 2 days later, I was throwing live ABs. And then a week later, I was pitching in a conference game. Or that weekend I was pitching in a conference game. Yeah.
Wow, so you earned trust pretty quickly.
Very quickly. I think my live ABs went really well. I remember vividly that my roommate was a catcher. His name was Asher Smith. And I was in the bullpen before my lives, and I was like, hey, like, my curveball is just not here. Like, I only had 2 pitches. I had a fastball and a curveball. I was like, dude, my curveball is not good right now. Somehow I threw probably 3 really good curveballs to him and struck him out in 3 pitches. And he came back in the dugout and looked at me and says, I thought your curveball wasn't on today. I was like, I didn't think so either.
Right.
And so my live EBs went really well. And then I got thrown into the eye of the storm.
That's really cool. So you gave up this glove.
Yes.
Right, for this glove.
Yeah, a little pitching glove.
Do you ever look back?
Yes. I actually, I miss catching a lot. I knew I couldn't hit. I wasn't the best hitter. I couldn't hit a fastball. I could only hit a curveball, which is funny. But there was actually a time at the end of this season, we did a pitchers versus hitters game, and I actually caught for the pitchers. Okay. And it brought back a lot of memories, and I loved it. And I wish I could gear up again and do it a lot more times, but it's not made for me anymore.
Right on. Do you believe that your catching background helped with your toughness that you have on the mound right now.
Yes, I think the big thing that helped me with pitching was from my catching of understanding the game. I learned a lot from catching. I learned the mental side of the game. I learned how to control the game. So then when I became a pitcher, my biggest strength was throughout the game, I was a closer. So throughout the game, I would analyze everybody's swings as I'm sitting on the bench waiting for my opportunity. And so being a catcher, I understood, hey, if a guy's late on a fastball, don't throw an off-speed pitch. Hey, if dude's way out in front of a changeup, throw it again.
Right.
So I was able to analyze swings and understand how the game works from a catching standpoint, which really helped me pitching-wise because I would call all my pitches. Even in my next college, I still shook off probably one of the best pitching coaches in college baseball.
Right. So you went from catcher to pitcher at Erskine, dominated.
Yes.
And then you had the opportunity to transfer for a 5th year to the University of Kentucky.
A 6th year.
A 6th year.
6th year.
Okay, a 6-year college.
I had the redshirt and the COVID year back, so I had 4 more years on top of 2 years.
So technically, you should be a doctor.
Basically, yeah.
All right, so you're at Kentucky. You're pitching in the SEC. You're closing ball games.
Yes.
I'm good friends with Dan Rozelle, the pitching coach. He always spoke really highly of you. Take those experiences from Erskine, and now they're magnified at Kentucky, pitching the SEC. Opportunities to go to Omaha. All the glitz and glamour of what college baseball has become.
Yeah. So at Erskine, we played in front of maybe 50 fans a game, sometimes 100. 100 was a lot for us. And then I get thrown into the SEC. I know I didn't fully believe in myself to go do that. I wanted to have the experience. I said, this is my last year. I don't care if I throw 5 innings. I want to have the experience of actually seeing like a real college, real SEC baseball, being a part of it. And so going into it, I didn't think very highly of myself. I was like, I'm just going to go for the experience. I want to enjoy it. And then my coaches, Dan Rozelle, Nick Mingione, they really believed in me. And that helped me grow as a pitcher at Kentucky. And, I remember my first experience at Kentucky, we did pitcher hitters, so live ABs, and you had 25 pitches or 9 batters, something like that. Maybe like 35 pitches, 9 batters. I ended up getting through 8 batters and striking out 7. With just a fastball changeup. And I never threw a changeup before that. Coach Rozelle taught me a changeup, and it was really working.
Right.
So after that experience, I was like, I can do this. This helped me a lot. The coaches were always behind me. So then that propelled me to become an even better pitcher, and that gave me the opportunity to, close ball games for the Wildcats.
Right. That's really cool. Let's go ahead and talk about life after Kentucky.
Okay.
You turned in the white ball.
Yep.
Right. And now you are throwing the yellow ball.
Little yellow baseball.
All right. So we were talking. Johnny is the one of the pitchers for the Firefighters.
Yes.
Savannah Bananas baseball started 10, 11 years ago. And has really grown into an exciting piece of art, really.
Yeah.
That's been created, and fans enjoy it. You and I have had some discussions about it. So now you're pitching for the Firefighters.
Yes.
And the yellow ball is the same size as the white ball, same weight, everything's the same. How does things change for you going from Kentucky? How has it changed your outlook on baseball pitching for the Firefighters?
The biggest thing that I could say what changed the most was at Kentucky, I had a huge fan base. The state of Kentucky loved us because we had one good year there. And going from that fan base to the fan base that we have now, it was almost identical because I was pitching in front of so many people. And my biggest thing with baseball is I want to give back as much as I can. I want to give back to the fans. I want to give back to the people that support us. So moving into the Firefighters, moving into this league, we sold out 10 MLB. I played in front of 10 MLB stadiums, sold them all out. And it's a different environment just because it's still very competitive.
Right.
But at the same time, we want to put on one of the greatest shows ever. And being able to see the lives that we change, that's the biggest impact that we have now. That's the biggest thing that I genuinely care about is how can I make a fan's day? How can I make 10,000 fans' days? And doing that is definitely one of the most fulfilling things in the world.
Right.
Is to see the smiles, see the joy that you bring to people through this show that we put on.
Mm-hmm. And it's still competitive on the field. I'm still competing against the hitter. The hitter's still competing against the pitcher, and you're wanting to win.
Yes, it gets very competitive. There are times that it's gotten a little chippy between the two teams. We actually had our first ever playoffs this past season, and that felt like, Game 7 of the World Series. Every single one of those games felt like that, and it was really good for the show. It was really good for Banana Ball to have something like that, because then people understood this is a lot more than just a show.
Right.
There's still a very high competitive level to this, and every single day, all of us want to win. It's not, oh, we lost, but we put on a good show. It's we want to win, but we want to make sure that, obviously our big saying is fans first.
Right.
So whatever we can do to put the fans first, and then it's the competitive level of it.
Gotcha. So the biggest mental shift, if there was one, that you've made going from showcase baseball as a young kid to Erskine, pitching in front of 50 fans like you talked about, to the University of Kentucky, to now the Firefighters.
Yes.
How does it change mentally for you?
There wasn't a huge difference between the mental side of showcase ball and Erskine. I definitely pushed myself as hard as I could. My dad pushed me, and I think going from having that type of environment here helped me at Erskine, and that push that I got here was the exact same push that I felt at Erskine. And then I moved on to Kentucky, and everything changed. We had an hour practice at Kentucky. At Erskine, we'd have 4-hour practices. At Kentucky, we only had an hour practice. And I left Kentucky's practice exhausted, mentally and physically, just because we have to put in so much work, so much skill into our one little move that we had that day. And that changed my mental side of there to where it was like, I actually have to do everything that I can because I'm playing at the highest level of college baseball. And then I move on to the Firefighters, and it's a different shift. It's like, okay, if I go out there and I give up a home run, it's not the end of the world. To me, I still hate it.
Right.
But I know I don't want to put on a pouty face. I don't want to get all mad and sad and show my emotion on a bad level, because it's good for the show. It's good for the Banana Ball game, but we do want to win.
Right.
So I feel like I let my team down a little bit. That's another big shift that I had to make, of making sure not to take the game too seriously.
Okay. So staying in the moment.
Yeah.
We talked about one element of Firefighters, banana baseball. You're wanting to get on the mound and get off the mound as fast as possible.
Yes.
And the elements of the game, I guess you guys keep up with data just like they do in Major League Baseball.
Yes.
You help us understand a little bit of that. I think you're talking about wanting to be on the mound or off the mound in 4 minutes or less.
Yes.
How difficult is that?
It's actually not too difficult. If you can actually, the one thing that I would say that would help anybody playing baseball, the way that Banana Ball does as a pitcher, is if you just throw a strike, you have 8 guys or 7 guys behind you, 1 guy in front of you. You have 7 guys behind you to help you. So there's so many times where I grooved a meatball fastball right down the middle, and it ended up being an out.
Right.
Just because I was behind in the count, I needed to make sure I get a strike. A ball doesn't help anybody.
Right.
A strike helps everybody. So I think understanding that definitely helps you, get on and off the mound pretty quickly, and it definitely makes you believe that if I just throw a strike, then I'm going to get – the outcome is probably pretty high for the pitcher.
Right.
Because it's definitely harder to hit a baseball than pitch a baseball.
For sure. So team culture. You gravitate towards some teammates versus others. How important is team culture at that level?
It's very important. We're with each other every single day. We travel 5 days out of the week. We're home for a day and a half, and you're around the guys constantly. So it's always good to have, your core group, but it's also good to have a whole team.
Right.
I think with the Firefighters, one thing that we have that not that many other teams in Banana Ball have is we our like logo is the Firefighters. Our mantra is for the Firefighters, so it's for first responders.
Okay.
And I think when everybody understands like why we're the Firefighters, it makes our group 10 times closer because we're actually playing not for ourselves. We're not playing for the other team. We're not playing for, our teammates. We're playing for everybody that helps the world.
That's cool.
Everybody that does, God's work, basically.
Right. You have a purpose.
Yeah, we want to give back to them. And that definitely makes our culture with the firefighters 10 times better, just because we understand that, like, hey, we're doing this for people that put their lives on the line every single day. And we want to make sure we want to make sure they have, like, they see what we're doing, and they're like, they want to be appreciative of why we're doing it our way.
That's really cool. Living life for others is it's very important, and that's really cool what you guys are doing. Favorite showcase tournament growing up?
The
Marucci World Series. Okay. Toughest opponent you faced growing up? Team or person?
We faced. I remember one time we faced at a PG showcase down in Fort Myers. We were playing at JetBlue, I think. And there was this one team that was really good. I forget their name, but they had a Mississippi State commit on the mound. And that was the fastest. I think he was throwing like 95, 96. And I think that was by far one of the toughest days I've ever had in my life. I forget the dude's name. I forget the team name, but I do know that, I stepped in that box and I saw the ball go right past me. I told you I couldn't hit fastballs. So it was really hard for me.
Right. So, and even though maybe failure was a part of your development at that time, it still helped in your dedevelopment. Playing at the highest level.
Yeah, I think failure is definitely the biggest thing that you can take out of baseball. You can put that towards anything in life. Whenever you're playing a game where if you hit a ball 3 out of the 10 times, you're a Hall of Famer, I think that shows that how tough it is and how mentally draining it is.
Right.
And if you can really understand failure, I think you'll become a lot better of a baseball player.
Do you have a walk-up song that they play consistently for you? Do you get to pick it?
Yes. So I had, at Kentucky, I took on, this is a little story, I'll make it pretty quick. As a closer, I spent 5 years at Erskine closing. I had to make sure I took pride in my songs. Like, it had to fire me up, it had to fire the guys up, it had to get me locked in. So I did 4 years of pitching at Erskine, or 3 years of pitching at Erskine. I used really good songs. And I came to Kentucky, I'm like, oh my God, I'm going to be playing in front of 10,000 people on ESPN on this. I need to make sure this song's perfect. I picked a song by the Foo Fighters. I heard it for the first time at our season opener, and I hated it. I was like, this does not work. And I'm a huge fan of the movie Cars. Growing up, I loved it. And I put it on the TV after that game when I was in bed, and I heard the intro song, Real Gone by Sheryl Crow. Texted some of the guys, texted our media person. They're like, yeah, we love it. And so then I used Real Gone by Sheryl Crow. Next thing you know, I'm doing a news interview with Kentucky's News, asking me all about the Cars theme, Cars this, Cars that, Real Gone. And out of nowhere, it exploded at Kentucky. I had kids bring in Lightning McQueen blankets to the game for me to sign. I did an interview with Steven Schoch, I think that's how you pronounce his last name, about it. And that took off. So then I come into Banana Ball. I'm like, what better song to do than that?
Right.
Do the whole Cars thing. It's, the kids love it. Families love it. And now that's my walk-up song. That's my whole thing. My number's 95. I got customized cleats that are Lightning McQueen. My glove has some Lightning McQueen stuff on it. My glove next year, I customized. Wilson just got the rights to Disney. So I'll have a lot more Lightning McQueen stuff on it. So that's my whole thing.
That's really cool.
And it's taken off a lot since Banana Ball.
How the Lightning McQueen, isn't it the fire that goes down the side of his car and everything? It's funny how, like, little steps at a time have led you to this.
It just fit perfectly for the firefighters. And, I got a lot of cool things up my sleeve for this next season that I'm going to bring out with Lightning McQueen. And, so that's my walkout song, Real Gone by Sheryl Crow.
That's great. Do you have a favorite ballpark you played in?
San Diego.
Okay.
Beautiful. I think it was just we stayed right up the road from the ballpark, so we walked to the field every single morning instead of taking the bus. The weather was perfect. First time ever in San Diego. The ballpark was beautiful, and I think that just definitely took the top notch of the ballpark I played at. And I played at Fenway, Yankee Stadium, Denver, Kansas City. Nothing beats San Diego.
Gotcha. So do you have one either baseball skill in life that you learned at a young age at SBA that's still clutch for you today?
I think the one skill that I learned at SBA was I actually had a coach, Coach Long, Matt Long.
Mm-hmm.
He was the guy that changed everything for me. He was a catcher growing up. He took me under his wing. He's the one that told me, or he's the one that taught me how to catch. He's the one that taught me the mental side. I think that skill alone helped me further. It's going to help me for the remainder of my life of understanding, failure happens in life. Failure happens in baseball. How can you, succeed from failure?
Mm-hmm.
He taught me everything about that. And that's that one skill that I still use every single day. It's helped me through life. It's helped me through everything. He actually gave me a book called The Mental Side of Baseball.
Yeah.
It's one of the best books I've ever read. And it's definitely, I do look back on that book every once in a while. I read some of it, and it just helps in general. As soon as you understand how to deal with failure, you'll just become a better person in general.
Right. Any message or the one message you would like to share with future firefighter players or future kids, who are wanting to play Major League Baseball? What would be the one thing?
Basically just
Deal with failure?
Yeah, deal with failure, never give up, push yourself. Like I said, through my career, I've been through the ups and downs. I didn't know if I was going to play. I didn't know if I was good enough. I pushed myself. I wanted success for myself. Right. And I think if you can understand that baseball in general is a game of failure, like I said, as soon as you understand that, and, my favorite quote in the world is make light in dark situations. As soon as you can take something and flip it the other way in a positive way, you'll live a much more, happy and fulfilling life.
Right. I love that. All right, so we'll do a little rapid round here. Going back, let's go to your teammates, and in interviews we always talk about don't call somebody's name out.
Yeah.
But is there a teammate that brings the energy every day that everybody gravitates to, that you want to be around, that you're currently with, or maybe somebody who's at Kentucky?
No, for the Firefighters, the biggest character on our team is Ron Franklin. He's definitely someone that brings the most energy. He jokes around a lot. He's a big jokester. He heightens up, he livens up the mood, and you could be having a bad day, but you walk in and see him, and you got a smile on your face.
That's cool. That's good. You need that guy in the dugout.
Need him.
Favorite go-to meal before a game?
I actually don't eat before games.
Okay.
I can't. It makes me feel worse.
What about cheat meal after the game?
Big fan of burgers.
Okay.
Burgers or fettuccine Alfredo.
Gotcha. What's your personal goal for this season?
My personal goal for this season is probably never take one thing for granted. It's easy to get caught up in something so great that you also see the negative side of it. It's easy to let the negativity come into your life, and you can sit here and complain about anything, and you always catch yourself complaining about something, even though what you have is so good. I think my personal goal is to make sure that I don't complain.
Right.
I'm living one of the best lives in the world right now. I don't want to complain.
Right. Somebody taught me one time that complaining doesn't do any good, because 50% of the people are happy that you're not happy.
Yeah.
And the other 50% of people don't care. So complaining is not ever a good thing. Dude, thanks for your time today.
Yeah.
It was really good to catch up. It was awesome hearing about where your journey in baseball has taken you, and we're excited about it and looking forward to following you this year.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. This is fun.
Awesome.
Good time.
Good to see you, brother.
Thank you.